Good morning, everybody. Hope your evening went well. Another delightful day here in Wichita last night in the mid-80s when I got back from boxing, and it was fun sitting out on the deck. Not a lot of wind blowing, lots of humidity, so it's still like being east of the Mississippi. And so pretty delightful, enjoyable evening after all. Okay, we rolled today. You should be on the CEP contract. I think. Ooh, maybe we rolled. No, that's right. We rolled today. Based on what my software showed me. What you have to do is you go in, if you haven't rolled yet, go to Profile, select the September contract, then you'll have to do a force tick rebuild. If that does not work for you, the force tick rebuild to give you the look, then shut the software down, reopen it, do another force tick rebuild, and you should have what you need. Okay, we're back because of the difference between the two contracts, the differential between Sept and June. We're back down to support 25.16 to 20. And I like the area. I think the 7-year is going to work well, so we got to buy 17 to 21. And then 9 to 13. Not too interested in being short, but obviously we're back to where resistance has been, 28 to the buck, so 27 to 31 will be sell 1, and then 3 to 7 will be sell 2. There's two factors influencing the market right now. One, the economic news that comes in continues to disappoint once you get past the headlines, and the other one is a short squeeze. Citi and JPM have had articles out last week and this week, and the two biggest institutional plays this year, including those banks' institutional trades, were long the dollar, short the yen because of Abenomics. And it's really the same play, and short bonds and notes because interest rates were supposed to start going up this year. So you got twice the fun, so to speak, and neither one of those is working so far. So I think that as more and more people become aware of it, more and more people join. The big players are already in. They're already have countered JPM, Citi, and the rest of them that have those massive shorts. So I think that's possibly a factor too. The ES is poised to trade higher again. The new number being kicked around right now is the blow-off top of 2,200 for the S&P. That's quite a move. That's 300 points from here. So, I mean, this is part of the market's expectation now. Then, supposedly, when magically we hit 2,200, the bottom falls out and we get a correction that'll water everybody's eyes to the tune of maybe as high as 50 or 60%. I mean, who knows? Nobody knows. But, you know, when you go out, if people know that you're a trader, it certainly happens to me all the time where I'm going, what do you think about the market? The next question out, do you like it or not? And if you say you like it, well, how high is it going to go? Everybody wants to be around a fortune teller, a soothsayer, somebody that can predict the future. It's human nature. And based on what? The fear of the unknown, or being well informed, or prescient, who knows? But that's the way that it is. So here we are. So I think today's news focus, jobless claims, 317, second quarter GDP, first quarter GDP, minus a half, pending home sales, +1. And Actually, the pending home sales numbers have beaten the expectations a couple of times this year. So 1, 2, 3 as far as the news focus goes, then to the 7-year. And that's where we are. So I like the market better than I don't. I like the long side better. If we do reject the 28 to the buck area, I can get short, see if we can get back down to 16 to 20. But I see really, really good support, as it has been, at 16 to 20. And you say, well, Charlie, those were June numbers. Well, that's where the market's memory is, right here. And we're back to the high volume number at 25. Now, if you're aggressive and you're on the short side at 24.5, sell. Works. So anything 24.5 or better for the short side to retest support at 16 to 20. That's where we are. Did anybody catch Obama's speech to West Point yesterday? The really, really interesting. The reason we're having all these problems around the world is because of the failure to ratify the law of the sea contract, that the military's new role is going to be taking care of all this disruption that comes from climate change. I mean, as if we have anything to do with it, and as if we could do anything about it if we could do. But that's a new role. That's a new speech to be giving to the West Pointers. Oh, you guys are going to be fighting climate change. We will be attacking the sun in the year 2021. We realize it's a suicide mission for those of you that are willing to accept and do that. But we plan to go out and take on the sun, and you'll be in the lead ship. I can just see that one go. So yeah, and it's no longer global warming or global cooling. It is climate change. You know, if you've ever been a pilot, or if you ever go up in the air, I mean, if you live in New York City, it is actually possible to believe that people live on top of each other, that housing is done multi-story, that the world ends at the Hudson. Whoever did that New Yorker picture a long time ago. But the second you get in an airplane and you look out the window, I mean, the places that are overpopulated are these downtown areas. It's no place else. And even the burbs that surround these big cities, life can be pretty good and pretty uncontested. But it's real easy to believe what you read if you don't bring proper perspective into it. So yes, these cities where people choose to live on top of each other can be terribly overcrowded and very expensive to live in. But it's not that way outside of these big city areas. So where are we on the 3 to 7? Sell 1. Pretty much where we were last night, 11 to 15, sell 2. On the buy side, we've got volume at 20, so we'll make 17 to 21. But it may take 25s to get in, depending on the news. Now, if you listened to Obama's speech yesterday and you're China and Russia, you've been given the green light in the South China Sea and elsewhere to go grab anything that you want, because the United States ain't going to take you on. And if I were Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan especially, I would be preparing to have to do battle if I wanted to maintain my sovereignty with China. Pretty cut and dry. The United States told our allies and told Russia and China that, hey, we're not going to do anything. And you can't be 100% sure that that was the real message that came out yesterday, but you sure as hell can probe around the edges to see what kind of reaction you're going to get, i.e. by going down and starting to drill in Vietnamese water for oil, taking islands from the Philippines. Don't know if they're ready to take on Japan yet, but all of this countering and probing and stuff is done so China will be able to take Taiwan uncontested. Okay, we said stops below 50. So last night we were hoping to buy the 50 area, and they stopped just north of 50. So it is a very, very round number, so we'll make buy 1. The market is pointed lower. I'd like a retest down here of the overnight session low before I got long. And then we got volume down here at 41. So leaning against that, we'll make 42.45 buy 2. On the sell side, the spill came from 55.57. That was initial support yesterday, sell 1. And then 60.62, sell 2. If you're a reader of military and world history, history rhymes. It doesn't repeat itself exactly. But these are conditions very similar to 1938, 1935. And it is very, very difficult for democracies or republics to do anything preemptive because there just isn't the political capital there. We're going to go start a war with such and such, such and such. On a major basis. And it does not sell with the electorate. So my guess is the probing by Russia and China, anybody else that has territorial aspirations outside their current borders will continue. And probably successfully. Okay, I thought the euro would be a little weaker last night. The dollar, every other day the dollar's up or down. The news out of Japan was absolutely grim. The economic news showing 13% decline in consumer spending after they subtract inflation from it. So we're back in our 36.25 to 20 to 30 area, our sell, which is where we have been. It's holding up so far, and then 40 to 50 for sell 2. On the buy side, we had 75 to 85. Yesterday afternoon, we made it 75 plus or minus, so we'll go back to 75, 85. And frankly, it may take a 36 to get in this morning. I really don't like the long side of this contract, though, without a retest. Much more comfortable short. Robert Kaplan has some great articles out about the withdrawal of the United States from the world stage. And there's nobody out there really enforcing or keeping the peace or that you have to go through to get what you want anymore if you have aspirations to increase the size of your country by force. And there's no check right now, so it makes it pretty easy for dictators to come out and do their thing. Crude is telling us that nothing is going to break out, that we won't go to any hot wars, there will not be a confrontation of any magnitude. Russia's been very, very quiet on the Ukraine, and I think we've talked about it for a long time. Russia got what they want. It's the same model they followed with Georgia. Come in, knock the daylights out of them, take 1 or 2 provinces, put troops on the border. Georgia and now the Ukraine will be painfully aware of what could happen to them if they don't toe the line. And back to business as usual. 102.50 to 75 is potential support. We've got all this volume down here basically in the 102.20 to 30 area. So we'll make 25 to 50 buy one because of that volume, and would like to get in closer to 25, and then 101.75, 102 for buy two. 103, 3 1/4, sell one, and it may take up. You may have to lean against 90s to get that off, and then 50 to 75 for sell two. I'm writing this stuff down as fast as I can. And to everybody's contract, if you can trade the E-mini, you can trade anything. And the reason what makes the E-mini so difficult is that any and all games that can be played, any mind screws that can be done on the retail investor are going to be done in this contract. And everybody fancies themselves an E-mini trader because they know what the Dow is, they know what the S&P 500 is. They might be aware of what the Russell and the Wilshire are, and they are becoming more and more acquainted with the NASDAQ. Volume is moving up in every one of these distributions, and economic news isn't in play. It's not affecting this stuff. So the side to trade from is from the long side. It's okay to sell failure, to take out near resistance to see how big of a ride that you can get. The volume moving higher through time tells us the long side is the side to trade from. So the overnight session low is 8. So this 7 to 9 area is going to be buy one, basically leaning against the overnight session low, maybe stops beneath that, and then 3 to 5 will be buy two. I think the focus for the E-mini is today's GDP number. Okay, sell failure to take out 13 to 15. That's always the easiest trade to see. But when you look at the big picture stuff, this market is pretty strong, and then 19 to 21 will be sell two. So GDP minus a half is going to be the number one priority. Jobless claims, 317, number 2. And pending home sales will be number 3. And the pending home sales number can come in higher than forecast. The last couple have been. So if GDP comes in, say, at minus 0.7, I would look for a quick sell. But my guess is that break will be bought. Don, I think the second Thursday of June is when we'll roll to the September contract in the E-mini. So I like the long side, but I can sell failure to get through 13 to 15. Take at least 15 minutes to get everything up and posted. I am going to get busy on that. Let's stop the recording right now.